Bum, bum. Yeah.
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 Hello, everybody. Welcome to Homewrecker Podcast. I am the Golden Greek. I think.
You're not sure?
Not sure, though. Joined, as always, by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique. Monique.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm Peach Keen, Jelly Bean.
Peachy Keen,
Yeah.
Jelly Bean. Speak to me and tell me what's new.
What's new? So if you're just tuning in, you haven't been lately, we're on Substack. You can find us there, Homewrecker Podcast. And yeah, join Substack. It's probably so far the better of social media platforms.
The better of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more chill.
All right. Cool. I still got to go and mess around on that.
Yeah.
But.
And I have one for my hypnotherapy and tarot and organite, and that's Monique Pliakis. So I think it's just under Monique Pliakis. You can search and find me there.
Links in the show notes.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah. Anything else going on?
You can go to buymeacoffee.com/homewrecker podcast, and you can get some cool bonus episodes.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right. That's great.
I think that's it. That's all we've got for us.
All right. Well, then why don't we get into my favorite segment
Oh, boy.
ever of all time? Ask Monique. Okay, so I'm going to ask Monique a question that has also been asked to the world's highest IQ, recorded IQ lady.
She's wicked smart.
She's wicked smart, according to whatever.
To stuff and
whatever,
people.
According to things that she says or whatever. Anyway, okay, I'm going to ask you the question. Then we're going to compare your answer to the world's most intelligent woman, or one with the highest recorded IQ. Dear Monique, please tell me how you define intelligence.
Ooh. I feel unintelligent for feeling like I cannot define it.
Well,
I don't think it's how smart somebody is. I think it's just how they choose to use their brain. Because everyone, people can be intelligent in different ways. I think it's just how much of it they utilize it in terms of their way of thinking.
okay.
That's all I got.
It's fine. All right. Well, here's what Marilyn Voss-Sant said. Dictionaries generally define intelligence in some combination of the ability to acquire knowledge and the ability to learn. However, I don't think either of these deals adequately with the vast capacity of human intelligence. After all, a computer can acquire knowledge, but certainly isn't intelligent. And the ability to learn implies more of an ability to be instructed, another job we can assign to a computer. Both of these are what I would call passive intelligence. To me, human intelligence is active intelligence. That is, it's the ability to take action to reach understanding independent of outside sources of programming.
Okay. It's interesting how that's bringing up computer intelligence and how it's not intelligent. And we've said before, artificial intelligence. Well, we say to our kids all the time, what does artificial mean? It means fake. Fake intelligence, not real intelligence.
Right. Exactly.
And one of our topics today, we're going to be talking about the flock camera system, and that uses AI, fake intelligence. And it seems to be pissing a lot of people off.
I think it's more so these things that are where we're seeing already how they're being misused. And I think that's where concerns obviously come from. The concerns have always been there even before this stuff happened. But now you're seeing people getting arrested in some town. And we're talking about in the United States. This is not England, where they come and arrest you for liking something or retweeting something on social media. This is America, where we supposedly have a constitution and rights and all that kind of stuff. But it appears to be getting trampled on every day more and more because these type of things are being used, and they're not accurate at all, even though they're sold as like the be all end all intelligent, no error, whatever technology, but it's full of errors, and
it's full of something, right.
The fault, of course, is not with the machine itself. I mean, yeah, obviously it's faulty, but it's with the humans that are just blindly trusting it because they are told, oh, it's not going to make any errors.
And I think
so you don't have to think anymore. Just trust the machine. It's like, wait, what?
And that's ignorance on their part.
But it's already happening, and it's amazing how quickly that happened. Usually, you would think like with any kind of evolution or changed behavior or anything, you'd think it would be a gradual, slow, eventual process. This is like happening like right away. Like, okay, so all of a sudden you have in some communities where they have these flock cameras, police departments are using them to solve crimes, quote unquote. I'm putting solve crimes in quotes because in air quotes, because they're just getting whoever is showing up on these flock cameras. They're not doing any actual investigative work. Just, well, you were in the area at the time, so it must have been you. Like, wait, what?
But that's not even accurate because
what?
We've read articles. There was an instance where a woman, I want to say she was from like Tennessee, and in like Fargo, North Dakota, she basically, like, her face shows up on this AI recognition, or it looks like her, saying that she's
a 100% match.
Fraud. Yeah, she was at a bank in Fargo, an elderly woman who was passing like fake checks at a bank, and they said, "Oh, she's in Tennessee." They go and get a warrant. And they have her like arrested, and then like she's in jail in Tennessee until she can get extradited. This
she was
elderly
in jail
woman.
for 3 months.
3 months. This elderly woman is in jail. She's never left the state
because the AI said if it was a facial recognition match for her.
And they ended up like
it was obvious she didn't do it, but they kept her in jail the whole time because the AI doesn't make mistakes. It's 100% match. So she did it somehow. Is what the argument was.
But the police department tried to blame it on a sister agency, saying like, well, they were the ones who told us about the software and we were using it. They weren't educated on the software. And that's where ignorance plays in. If you're going to use software, like, use it as a tool, but don't use it as the end all be all. Okay, this is a match. Well, let's do some investigation first. Okay, well, this is an elderly woman in Tennessee.
That's been, yeah.
So let's look at that. Yeah. And they ended up like her attorney like showed like she was actually at her bank in Tennessee like the day of the alleged crime. How could she be there and then also in Fargo when this happened? Yeah. But like that's the stuff you rule out first, like before any of that, before you get your warrants, you do your work, and it comes off as laziness, and that's scary.
That's the scary part, but that's what I mean. It was like there was no eventuality where it kind of like phased into this. It just boom, all of a sudden, oh, we have this AI, we don't have to think anymore.
And
this is the people that we, when I say we, I mean collectively as a society, we count on these people to uphold the law. They're not using their brains though. They're just trusting whatever an AI tells them.
And that's scary. That's lazy.
It's scary. It's lazy. It's scary, I guess is the best word. I'll say that a million times.
And I will say, like, I've spoken with police officers who are very anti-AI because they see the issues. They can see the writing on the wall and all the problems. But, you know, again, different parts of the country.
Yeah.
It varies depending on where you live.
It's insane. But that's the thing. And like now it used to be in this country that the pressure was on a prosecutor or an attorney or a law enforcement or whoever to prove that you did something beyond a reasonable doubt, and you used to be considered innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. Now you're guilty till you can prove you're innocent.
Exactly.
Like they've like flipped the script, and it's like, whoa, hold on. Like the story that I had read about was a woman was basically she was arrested and told that we got you for theft and burglary and robbery of a house, a series of break-ins in a neighborhood or whatever. because we got your car, every time the crime was taking place, you were driving through the neighborhood. Your car was spotted in the neighborhood. She's like, that's the way I go to work.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It was her car, and it just happened to coincide with the times. So it's obviously her is what happened. They just arrested her. She had to prove, no, I drive there for work. Like, that's my way to work. And she had to show the pattern and all. It's insane. But the onus of proof was on her. Like, since when is that the case in this country? Apparently, it's been like that for a long time.
See, and we got to throw
and
it
we
back.
just haven't realized that we've allowed our rights to get eroded away because, yeah, that's just how it is now.
And that's
it's crazy.
part of the issue with these flock cameras is that people are like, we're being surveilled. We're being monitored now. And they can...
Without consent.
Yeah,
Nobody consented to that.
Now, here's the thing. One can argue. If you are traveling on a public road, the town, the state, whoever has a right to do whatever they want. They do traffic cams. If you go through a red light, things like that. They don't need your consent. You agree by driving on the road, you're going to obey the laws and whatever it is they set up in place. But I did see that now they're setting these cameras up at like retailers. And I want to say, don't quote me, but it was like a Walmart or something. And they're thinking, okay, and now what are these corporations doing with our information?
Well, that's already been shown, and I'm sure there's these companies are getting sued left and right all the time by people because their rights are being infringed on and privacy and things like that. These things are happening all the time. There's too many stories to even list them all.
Yeah, but they monitor. Like the moment you drive in the parking lot with these big places, you're being monitored. They're looking at your vehicle. They connect to your phone. What kind of phone do you have? They check your spending habits. I mean, they will do everything to make more money off of you. And I believe we've talked about it before, the digital pricing. A lot of places are trying to roll out. They're going to target you and say, okay, we're going to charge more for you because we think you can afford it.
Yeah, it's the dynamic pricing model.
How is that legal? Again, people need to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to shop here anymore.
Or people have to start leaving their cell phones at home, which no one's going to do. Or people have to start using cash again, which no one's going to do. I mean, there's ways to combat this stuff, but everybody is too trapped by the convenience of everything. That's what it is. Yeah. Everybody's too trapped by the convenience, and it's genius by the people in charge because they bred it out of us, essentially. Like, we're trying now to teach and instill that in our children so that at least there's somebody in the next generation that knows how to do things properly and not rely on the system. However, that's the minority of society. So but that's where society's going. We're getting lazier. We're getting more reliant on technology. The digital prison's building around us. Before you know it, you're going to go to the grocery store and they're going to tell you, oh, you got too much meat, you got to put some back, or you got too much milk, you got to put some back. They're going to start doing that kind of crap. It's all going to happen eventually. This is where we're heading. I mean, they do this in China already. Yeah. And you don't think that our government looks at China and goes, we need to do that? Of course. Yeah. Of course they do. That's where we're heading. And it's a scary prospect for us because we grew up before any of this stuff was even a thing. And now we see how vastly it's changed life and how vastly it's changed humanity and society. But that's where it's going. And the only thing you can do, we can't fight it really. This is where it's heading. There's too much going in that direction. Only thing you can do now is just teach your children and teach them the difference, and hopefully they can carry it on. Well, that's the only way to fight it.
I disagree with you. I think you can fight it, but it would take it would take a large amount of people standing up. I read that Meta on Instagram created some AI program that essentially collects all your photos, all your information, and then allows other people to create stuff with it. And there was such a backlash from everybody that they dropped it. And they're like, well, the program, like it sounded like they were trying to blame it on the program. And, we didn't realize that, the way this program is running, that it would make so many people upset. But enough people complain, enough people backlash. Yeah, because people essentially talk with their wallet in terms of these big corporations that are surveilling and monitoring and dictating how much you can buy or how much you have to pay for something. Yeah, let enough people stand up and say, no, this isn't right. Things can't change. But again, the way they're doing all of this, it's to bring laziness about because, I can't just click a button. I have to be inconvenienced.
It's to bring about the laziness, but it's all control.
Yeah.
It's what it is. If you have a lazy population, they're easier to control.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's that simple. If you take all the seeds out of the fruits, people can't save seeds and plant their own food. They're reliant on the government or whatever corporations to grow and sell you the food. I mean, that's the ultimate control mechanism. Once you get the food, that's it. And we've been seeing that for years. Seedless watermelons, seedless grapes, all that. That's not natural. Nope. Those are not grown naturally like that. That's all. But again, it's a convenience. And people just go, oh, well, it's more convenient. I don't have to spit out the seeds of the watermelon anymore. Yeah, that's true. But you also can't grow your own. So it's like, again, we're slaves to convenience now, the modern society. And it's pretty scary. It's very scary.
And what were you saying about the flock cameras too yesterday that you were telling me about?
You already covered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just that the woman who got arrested, and they said that she was the one responsible for these crimes because she drove through the neighborhood at the times of these break-ins.
And I want to point out, look up what the laws are in your state, because I went to multiple websites to see cameras in New Hampshire. I didn't see any. If you look up New Hampshire, you find some, please let us know. I couldn't find any. And I looked up the law in New Hampshire. Apparently, in New Hampshire, and I can only speak for New Hampshire because that's what I looked at, if a law enforcement agency wants to use a flock camera or any of those license plate readers, they have to register with the Department of Safety. And it has to be done in a way that if no crime is found regarding that license plate that's run, within 3 minutes, that information needs to be permanently deleted. So they can't store and hold on to your license plate information. Whereas in other states don't have that, and it can stay in there for months or years. So we got that going on. Maybe why agencies aren't going to do it, because there's no way they can have somebody like, oh, this just came in, this plate went through, and nope, or they don't have the software to check that. I don't know.
But I mean, obviously that's why these data centers that are going up everywhere, that's why they're being built.
Yeah, they want to monitor you.
Because you're using Grok or ChatGPT to look something up on the internet. That's not why they're getting put up. They're getting put up because they're storing all the data. That's what this is for. Or those are for. And it's all on you. Why do they have to be in every state? Why do they got to be? Because that's where the digital surveillance, that's where it's happening. It's happening to you and your community. So if you're able, fight those things from going up.
Yeah.
You do whatever you can, write your congressman or senator, or whatever it is. But
go to town meetings.
Go to your city
meetings.
Get your friends and neighbors involved, because it's going to affect everybody. And especially if you have kids, that's when you got to be really worried, because you know what? You say, I don't really care too much. Okay, but do you care about your children's future? If you got grandkids, you care about your grandkids' future. These are the things we got to...
Yeah.
It's our responsibility as this, whatever generation you're a part of, to try to make life better for the generations that follow. But I'll get off my soapbox now.
Okay. Well, the other thing that we were talking about that came up the other day here was video games. We've been talking about how even with movies and stuff, it's like if you buy something digitally, like through a platform, you don't really own it. And that's why I've always wanted like something tangible. I want it in my hand. And over the years, we noticed, if you have something that's digital, Well, they can change it even without even though you paid for it and you own that movie, they can go in and they can change it. So let's say you bought The Office and you have it digitally all seasons. Well, they went in and because of, it's inappropriate now, they changed and edited certain episodes. And they have control. So how can you keep track of what was original, how things really were? It's difficult. So I've always been, I want the tangible item. If I want music, I want it on a CD. I'll take it on a cassette tape. I don't care. I just want it somehow on a platform where I tangibly have it. If I have a movie, I want it on a DVD or Blu-ray. And now, was it Sony?
Sony has come out and said they're not going to make physical media anymore. And I only know this because I have a PlayStation. And in the PlayStation store, they took out movies. So I don't own any digital movies through Sony, through PlayStation or anything like that. But what they've done is, I guess if you sell movies on your platform, then you're paying a small fee to whoever produced the movie. Makes sense. Well, Sony doesn't want to do that anymore, so they got rid of a bunch of movies that apparently they don't want to pay rights fees to anymore or whatever. I know like the John Wick movies were one of the names that I recognize right away, and there's a list of others, but it was something like 1,000 titles that they removed. And if you were somebody that actually paid money to buy it, so you'd have it in your Sony, your PlayStation library or whatever, they're gone. They just yank them. So you paid money, and I think what do they pay? They run like $20, $25. For a digital movie, I'm not sure what they run.
Yeah, like $20, $25.
We'll say $20, $25, and you think you own it. Well, you don't.
You don't.
Because they just yanked it off the platform. So I'm glad I don't do any of that. Like any movies we want to own, we buy the physical DVD or Blu-ray.
Because I called this how long ago?
Oh yeah, but it's happening now, and I guess they're not going to make any more DVDs or Blu-rays or physical video games anymore. So if you want to buy like a PlayStation game, I guess it's only going to be digital from now on, which to me is crazy. But yeah,
I don't like that. I don't want to give them my money. And I remember reading something where PlayStation, I believe it was PlayStation, was doing something like you have to log in every so often or like you're going to lose your stuff. And a lot of people started complaining. And then they turned around and said, well, you can get it back. You just have to like do all this other stuff. It's like, that is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
it's all money.
It's showing you that it's not really yours. Even though you bought it, it's theirs. They can do whatever they want. It's not yours.
That's the thing. Now you're not buying anymore. You're basically renting.
Yeah.
You're going to be the next generation and everything. They're being brought up to not own anything.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
That shit's happening now. It's crazy, but it's actually I mean, and this is where you see it start. It's these things like
taking
entertainment.
Away your stuff,
take away a little here and there. You say, oh, we're not going to sell DVDs anymore, but it's more convenient because you don't have to worry about a disc. They sell it to you like that, of course, but really it comes down to profit for them. They don't have to produce and ship them anymore. All they have to do is maintain servers, and that's it. So they've eliminated a huge cost, and they made I don't remember the actual number, but it was in the billions off of this new Grand Theft Auto 6 that's coming out in pre-order. Billions with a B, and the game's not even out yet. And it's not going to be a physical disc. It's just a digital thing. Everybody's got to download it onto their PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. They're already in the billions for pre-orders on this.
That's insane.
So they don't give a rat's ass about about you.
Shut up and give us your money.
If you're a gamer,
No.
right? And the other thing I saw too was what they're doing now is, and I know like Steam, which is a popular, I think, for computers and people that play video games on computers and have like those big gaming consoles and stuff like that. And also PlayStation and Xbox. If you buy a lot of games, like if you're a gamer that buys a lot of games, you would think in the old world, it would be, oh, they buy a lot, so we'll give them a break or a discount because they buy so much, like a loyalty type thing. No, they've gone the other way. If you buy a lot, they're assuming now, the AI models and everything that they have, that you have money. So they actually are raising prices. So say you buy like 2 or 3 games a month. They're raising prices now. So you might be paying $5 or $6 more, sometimes up to $10 more for a game than somebody that buys a game once every 5 or 6 months. It's crazy. Like, what? But that's what's going on. It's this dynamic pricing that they're doing, and they're introducing it everywhere. And most people, unless you talk to a friend like that also is a gamer who maybe doesn't buy as often as you, you're like, oh yeah, I got the new game for $20. How'd you get it for 20? I had to pay 30. Like, unless you're doing that word of mouth, no one's gonna know. Yeah. That's the genius of it. So it's like, it's just crazy. But this is happening. Like, this is actually happening now. This is not hearsay or hypotheticals or worst case scenarios. No, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's happening in stores, like we mentioned earlier, with the dynamic pricing, with the digital price tags. I'm sorry, when I start seeing digital price tags at any store, not going to shop there anymore. I don't care what it is. Not gonna.
Nope.
Done. Because that's insane. So no, we're not paying the same price for things anymore. Now it's just dependent on how much you make every year or how many people in your family. It's crazy the amount of data that is collected on everybody and how it's used against you. Because I'm sorry, that's not a benefit to you to have your data collected and have pricing like that. I mean, that's predatory. That's there's no convenience there, and there's no way anybody can wrap that up and marinate it in all kinds of fancy words and marketing terms and sell it to me as a benefit to me or my family or anyone I know. I'm sorry. There's no benefit there to us.
The flip side of that also makes it scary is right now it's for people who tend to have more money. You go to a store, they look at what kind of car you drive with, their cameras. They're targeting you saying, oh, this person drives a new car and a fancy car. They can pay more. Oh, they have a new iPhone. They have this, they have that. Whereas those who are in like a 15, 20-year-old car, older phone, those prices will be lower. But who's to stop whoever is controlling that algorithm to flip it? Oh, these people, they can't afford this. We're going to make it more expensive for them. I mean, you think about the stuff you hear with Bill Gates, how he wants to wipe people off the earth. Like, yeah, make it so nobody can afford to buy food. Because you go in there, you only have, let's say, $50 to buy food for the week, and you can't afford anything because it's so expensive, because they don't want you alive anymore. You could flip that. And that's scary, that somebody is controlling how much you pay based off your status.
It's 1984. It's come to life. It's happening. So that's why, again, we did a show about this a couple years back. The only way to not play this game is, or to win at this game, is to just not play it, not participate. Do your part to remove yourself as much as possible from these systems. Grow food. Go to your local farmer and get your meat if you're able.
A few episodes ago, we were talking about, well, what if you live in an apartment and you can't grow food, right? And like, oh, well, you can try growing like tomatoes, even though that doesn't really feed you. But if you have like a balcony or a terrace, you could do like, we got these grow bags. You can grow potatoes and carrots, because those are... The problem a lot of people run into with that stuff, and I don't mean to cut you off, but the problem a lot of people run into with those kind of things is if you live in a condo or any kind of home, any place where there's an HOA or a homeowners association or something like that, that shit's outlawed. They don't let you do it. So if you wanted to plant like an apple tree or a fruit tree, they don't allow them, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. But that's how we've been conditioned as a society. We can't allow those things. You want food, go to the grocery store. That's why.
That's what's happening.
When we first were looking at houses, I remember the realtor we were working with, I said, I absolutely in no way will ever live where there's like a home, like the
Yeah.
like homeowners association, anything like that, condo association.
Yeah.
And she would sometimes be like, oh yeah, there is an HOA. And I'd be like, no,
Yeah, we're not looking at that then. We're all
no,
set.
I don't care.
I'm not
I
going to
don't
live
care.
somewhere where somebody tells me what I can and can't do on my property. No.
But because like she'd be like, oh, this one's pretty lenient. They don't really have many. I was just like, no, they want to take my money. They're like, we went to this one house. It was like, you take care of your own yard. It's not like you're paying because they have people do the landscaping or anything. You're paying and you have to do all the work yourself. And they give you all these rules. I was like, what is the point?
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Right.
I just thought, why? But it's only $150 a month. For what? For somebody
what?
to tell me what to do with my property? Hell no.
Not something that we wanted. And
Nope.
And we didn't go for that. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem though. Unfortunately, a lot of people do run into that issue. And so, I mean, that's why a lot of things that I'll say, it's stuff that I'll do. I don't want to complain about or rally against the system without being actively fighting it. You know what I mean? Like just complaining does nothing.
No.
Like who cares? Okay, yeah, complain. Yeah, it sucks. Okay, what are you gonna do about it though? So if I'm not doing anything about it, I'm not gonna talk about it. It's that simple. But we're trying to do something about it.
But
Trying to be more self-sufficient, trying to take steps, and nothing happens overnight. This is all a gradual process, and planting fruit trees and bushes.
But
and,
I think for
plants and
people, the big thing is just being aware of what's going on. That's why we talk about these things. Being
Right.
aware, like, hey, did you know that this is happening? Like, again, with the video games and Sony and the cameras, and so many people are unaware.
Yeah, they don't know. They're oblivious.
Yeah, they don't know because it's not like you see it on the regular news.
No, of course not.
And people, they don't pay attention. So, I mean, I know people like that. We know people like that. And it's just like, you didn't know, you haven't heard about this. And then some stuff like, yeah, we heard about this, which is like, wow, that the word's getting around. It's almost like you can tell the outrage by like the people who usually don't hear about any of this stuff and they hear about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about education and awareness, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say it again. Scary. It's just the whole thing's scary, but it's happening, and it's with technology the way it is, and just seeing what I've seen thus far, it's going way faster than I imagined it would. So it's pretty crazy.
Somebody put out a video on social media. It was an interview when Back to the Future came out, and they were interviewing people coming out of the movie theater. And there was a young couple coming out of the theater, and they're like, oh, what do you think of if, in 20, 30, 40 years from now, we have, phones we can take everywhere and you can talk to people on a video screen or something like that. And they're like, why would anyone want to do that? Like the guy was like, why would anyone want to do that? And it's like, yeah, because, we're more technologically advanced, but at what cost?
At what cost? Exactly. I mean, like me, like the FaceTime that people do and stuff. Like I won't do that. I know it's nice to see people's faces when you're talking this and that. I won't do that.
I hate FaceTime.
I'd rather talk to you in person or even just hear your voice. I don't want to sit there staring at a screen. I don't know. I don't know if it's because of just I'm the generation that grew up with, when you had to have like a cord on your phone and you'd have the super long cord that you'd walk like the length of the house with. You know what I mean?
I find it intrusive.
It's just like especially if you're not, if you're just by yourself, somebody calls like for women, I can imagine like if their makeup's not done or whatever, or your hair's a mess or whatever, I can imagine it can't be the best thing in the world to want to answer a FaceTime call, but I don't know.
Can we just talk about that for a second?
Sure.
Because I hate FaceTime. The only time it comes in handy is like if you're away from your family and you want to see them, or like if you need to physically show somebody something. But the phone rings and the camera starts showing you on the phone. Why won't it just show the image of the person calling or like who's calling and save FaceTime? it turns your camera on without your permission. Again, gotta go in the settings because you do have your permission, but essentially it turns your camera on when somebody calls you. And then you look at the phone who's calling, and then you're seeing yourself like, what the heck? And then my brain always goes, is this what the person is seeing on the other end? Like, can they see me? And even though they can't, I just feel it is so intrusive. And when people FaceTime, I think, why do they need to see me? Because I answer, hey, what's going on? Oh, hey. It's like, you don't need to show me something. It's not like, hey, I'm out at a park and there are these two bears like fighting. Like, look at, like, no, like you don't need to show me anything. Like, why? And then people will walk around. They'll be like doing something and they put their phone down. Why didn't you just fucking call me like a normal person? You had to FaceTime? Like, are you a freaking sociopath? What is wrong with you? I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's just that's the new phone call.
I hate it.
And I don't like it either. I just shut it off on my phone. So like I'll have like family members, oh, I tried calling you. No, you didn't. Because I turned the FaceTime off on my thing. So I don't even know if they called, the phone would ring. If they didn't call, I don't know. If they're
But I'm sorry, that's not calling. That is not calling somebody. That's FaceTiming somebody.
But I say I don't like FaceTime. I don't use that. I shut it off. Yeah. I don't want my camera on all the time and looking at me and recording my mannerisms and everything else that they do. Like I want this to be as minimal as possible.
The other day, my parents went to go get something. Like, oh, if they have this, get something. Get this for us if they have it. And my parents get there. They didn't have what I asked for, which no big deal. Just don't get anything. But my dad tried calling me. And he left a voicemail, and he gets back and is like, what, you don't check your phone? You don't have your phone on you? I was like, no, I don't keep my phone on me 24/7. I was outside doing stuff. And people get it in their head because we have these phones and they can be with us 24/7 that it's expected that they're with us 24/7. And some people are like, yeah, if I text someone and I don't hear back, that's fine because they'll get back to me whenever. But then you have the people on the other spectrum, like, why didn't you answer your phone? You have a cell phone. It's like, okay, because I don't want my cell phone around me all the time.
That's the thing. And that's something I've been intentionally doing for a long time is I try not to carry my phone on me all the time, especially when I'm at home. It's like, I'm not going to have my phone on me. Why? No. For what reason?
We go out, we go for walks, we do work outside.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing my phone with me.
I am the worst person at getting back to people with text messages because like I'm in a couple of different group message things, and when those things go off and I get a bunch of notifications, I just look at it and I go, yeah, I'm not looking at that. That's insane. I'm all set. And so I'm notoriously bad, and so some people's text messages will just get lost because I've got, whatever 30 notifications or some ridiculous number. I'm looking, go, what's going on? Like if I don't have a missed call and a voicemail, then it's not important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're listening and you're one of those people. I'm not, don't take it personal. It's just, that's how I am. But yeah, I'm trying to divest from the technology, try not to be so dependent on it, and it's very difficult.
Surveilled, essentially, where people can track you, follow you, see what you're doing.
So difficult in today's society.
We were talking about it today. Trying. It's like, we pretty much do the same stuff, and we don't go very far very often.
Yeah.
We're boring, but again, we don't care. We don't want people tracking us.
Still, it's just it's the principle of privacy. Yeah. When people say, oh, I got nothing to hide, I don't care, you go ahead and look. No. Like, it's the principle.
I used to think that way when I was young.
You never want to give that up. See, I never did. I was always very vigilant.
Little goody two-shoes.
I took the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I took all that to heart.
Well,
I always paid attention when that shit was going on in school.
And I think it depends on where you get your.
It to heart.
It depends where you get your education too. Do they really teach you that stuff? Because I felt I didn't get that real education. But at first I thought like, well, I don't do anything wrong. But then I learned, I educated myself and realized, because it's not about that. It's about your rights and how they, your rights can be violated. So, it takes that education, because I was ignorant. I just figured, well, I didn't do anything wrong. And again, that's putting so much trust in a broken system.
And that,
because how many times have people done nothing wrong, yet they're getting accused of doing something wrong? Coming back full circle to what we were talking about, where you could be just driving to work every day, and now you're being accused of robbing houses and burglary and breaking and entering and all that.
Exactly.
Just because you take the same route to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why, like, the rights, knowing your rights, knowing the Bill of Rights, knowing your laws, your local laws especially. But just always remember the Constitution, as long as it's still there, as long as they say that we have it, know it and know what your rights are, and don't allow people to just take advantage. And here's the thing too, like, that a lot of people don't realize. It's what you said before, ignorance. So many people are not aware. So you're going to run into law enforcement and people in positions of authority who are not aware of the rights, because that's just not what they ever knew or learned when they got their job or when they were growing up or whatever. So they may be inadvertently violating your rights. And I think it's always important to know your rights, but to always be respectful and calm, especially in those type of situations, because it's just, you hear too many stories and see too many stories of people like becoming confrontational and violent and angry. And even though you might feel justified, it's always best to just keep a cool head about you, because, oh, you're going to arrest me? Okay. Well, you're violating my right to this or whatever, but okay.
I don't consent.
All right. I don't consent to this. You're arresting me against my will. You're detaining me against my will. You say things like that. So it's loud, calm, and just go with it, because what's the alternative? Get shot if the police officer feels threatened?
I wouldn't say loud,
or
just audibly.
Audibly, of course, because now you can use their technology to your advantage. They have body cams.
But not everyone has body cams.
Not everybody does, but if they do, use that technology to your advantage. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people are saying that we have to combat technology with more technology, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I can see the point that's being made. People saying, well, now because of these flock cameras, going back to that, it's important to have a dash camera in your own vehicle so you can prove that you were at wherever you say you were if they try to tell you that you were somewhere else or whatever. Like, it's important to have proof so you
shouldn't have to document your whereabouts all the time to prove that you're an innocent person. That's asinine.
That's why I don't agree with it. I see their point, but it's like, okay, so you're going to combat this technology with more technology? That's like saying, I'm just going to dose myself with anti-venom all the time in case I get bit by a snake. Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle, and it's just more of this going into this new system of control and surveillance, and I don't like it. So you got to surveil yourself to make sure that you can counter their surveillance of you. Yeah. Wait, what? You know what I mean? But that's the argument a lot of people are making now.
And then my mind thinks, that's like the counterpoint they try to throw in to get more, so you surveil yourself more and you just do what they want you to do.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is.
So,
I just whacked the mic.
That's awesome. We're going to leave that in.
Thanks.
Excellent professionalism on your part, my lady. So, I mean, that's this week. We're talking about surveillance and how scary it's getting and stuff. So,
and check out, if you haven't,
be aware.
Yeah, our episodes, like, I always feel like someone's watching me. Somebody's watching me. Check out that episode. It's, I don't know how many years old, but go back. It's in there. And then we did another episode, kind of like a part 2 to it. Somebody is always watching if you're not paying attention. Mm-hmm. Check out those episodes, because
do some deep dives into things, terms of service agreements, things like that people don't realize they're consenting to, because you got to have a law degree to decipher some of these things that they're asking you to check off as accept and to use their services and things like that. We're talking about like things with cell phones and
even cable,
home security systems, things like that. Like it's pretty insane the type of stuff that you consent to. But if you're not aware, then that's how they get you. Ignorance is bliss, right? Yeah. Until it really turns around and bites you in the ass.
Check out those episodes. They're good.
Absolutely. So until next time, I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, and I've been joined, as always, by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast. Many people are unaware just how much hypnotherapy can help them, or think it's only to help lose weight or quit smoking. But there is so much more hypnotherapy can do. It can help with stress, anxiety, insomnia, phobias, performance enhancement, connecting with your spirit guides and higher self. You can even discover past lives and your life between lives. Heal traumas, break habits, find your deepest truth, or just have fun discovering who you really are, all from the comfort of your home. I'm Monique Pliakis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to help you. Schedule a free consult by going to www.innerstandingshypnosis.com. That's INNERSTANDINGSHYPNOSIS.com. Inner Standings Hypnosis. Find your power and ignite your inner light.